Unscripted.
You know, for a very long time, I've been wanting to sort of do a comprehensive comparison between PlayStation Now and Xbox Game Pass. And right when I was about to do it, you know, I had some things planned out and I had some bullet points I wanted to talk about. And then Microsoft announced that they were going to do Outriders Day and Date with the service. And then, of course, Major League Baseball, the show 21. Those are going to go day and date into the service. Realistically, there is a very interesting kind of fact that kind of held off on doing it because I wanted to be as accurate as I could be. And, you know, as far as I can tell, I think that this is going to be something that a lot of people are going to be very interested in hearing and probably be talking about for a while, because I don't think the case is as clear cut as one might think. And I think that that's what most people are going to find the most interesting about this entire situation. When you think about things, they're both very similar in what they offer. Both offer downloads in terms of games. Both offer the ability to stream games, although right now I believe PlayStation Now is the only one that allows you to stream games to your console. I'm not sure that that's enabled yet for Xbox, not that I personally care about that anyway. And then when you look at like overall size of games and amount of games, that favors PlayStation Now as well. So very interesting stats when you kind of take a step back and kind of look at things from a different point of view and kind of take the fanboy goggles off. So I do want to get started. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Crapgamer here with Crapgamer Reviews, back with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. I really do appreciate it. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that as well. It helps out the channel and it means a lot to me personally. You know, if you guys would please just maybe consider subscribing, hit the bell so you're notified of all the content as soon as it drops. That would be much appreciated. Shout out to all the old subscribers, new subscribers, and everyone in between. You're fantastic, and thank you very much for the love and support and things like that. It really does just mean everything to me. So thank you. So as you guys know, you know, I've talked about Game Pass for a while now, and I've talked about, you know, PlayStation Now as well. And like, I had some surprising results when it comes to both of these things. Now, first of all, I want it to be known that when it comes to Game Pass, I'm actually a subscriber through 2022. So I don't actually pay month to month or anything like that. I had Gold running through December of 2022, and I just for $1 one time converted all of that into a Game Pass Ultimate. On the PlayStation Now side, I'm not subscribed at all, but I can still look at the offerings and things like that. These types of services don't mean much to me because when it comes to like most of them, let's just be real, a lot of them just have a lot of indie games, and I don't particularly care for indie games. I mean, it's just not my thing. And you know, also they don't get a lot of day and date things, you know, and for me personally, I like to know what I'm going to play. If there's something I want, I'm going to get it. I'm not going to hope that it comes to a service, you know, months from now or a year from now. You know, so I buy a lot of the games, and even though it doesn't show it on here for everything because I game share, and for some reason when you game share, it doesn't necessarily list everything that you own for some reason, but I do like to own the things that I own, you know, and that's just how I am as a gamer. And so it's not as much a value to me as it might be to you, and I totally understand that. So when we look at you know, Xbox Game Pass, I think that there is some value there, particularly with the fact that they have stuff going in day and date, and you know, they put their own stuff in day and date, but you can't, you know, completely ignore the fact that Microsoft's own first party hasn't put anything AAA in there in almost 600 days. I believe it's been 580 days now since the last AAA, which was Gears of War 5, September 19th, 2019. So it's not like they're pouring a ton of day one AAAs of their own in there. You know, having Outriders in there is a Band-Aid. Major League Baseball, the show 21 is a Band-Aid. These things are nice little things that are going to possibly hold you over until, you know, something big comes out later. And I think that's probably the case that we're going to see before too long. You know what I mean? So we do have to kind of keep that in mind. And we also have to keep in mind that, you know, this is just one of those things where people are just going to have to understand not everybody thinks the same way as everybody else, okay? When you look at the games offered, and even with something like EA Play, it's still $180 a month to get EA Play and Game Pass Ultimate and the ability to play online, and you don't even get as many games as you get with just PlayStation Now. And if you add in PlayStation Plus and EA Play, it still ends up being $30 cheaper for the year going that way. So that might surprise some people in the fact that, there are these other options out there in the world. And, I think that people probably forget that, gamers are very quick to sort of forget these type of things. But yeah, and when you kind of scroll through it, you sort of notice that on Game Pass, over 100 titles they have listed as indie. A lot of the titles that they have are listed as maybe older games and, classics or whatever. You see a lot of Xbox 360 games. When it comes to optimized games, there's only 35 titles that are optimized for the Xbox Series X and S right now. And some of those, if not a lot of them, are very much indie games as well. I mean, you see some stuff that probably doesn't even matter if it's optimized, like the Falconeer or the Tourist or, like We Happy Few or Ori, you know what I mean? Or Haven or Minecraft Dungeons. I mean, what is being optimized? Or Call of the Sea, like what is being optimized honestly doing for any of these types of games right now? I mean, it's not exactly where you'd want it to be, but I have to give credit where credit's due. They do a good job of kind of advertising their things, and I think that that's pretty cool that the way they're able to kind of go out there and do that. Now, when you do kind of look at it, you sort of notice also that a lot of the games on these services are the same. Right, like there's a lot of the games on here that are pretty much the same, and people would be pretty surprised by that. I think that like when it comes down to it, the fact that both Sony and Microsoft have a lot of the same offerings is pretty interesting, and it's also something that I think that probably would be looked at as a bit of a surprising thing for a lot of people as well. And I think that that's something that we have to kind of take into consideration as well. Now, I'm not subscribed to PlayStation Now, but they do have, they are working on getting some newer stuff in there, obviously like Marvel's Avengers and whatnot, and we still have to really kind of see how things work out with getting other things in there. And I'm not talking about big first-party stuff because, look, they did do a good job with being able to get like Oddworld in there day one or Destruction All-Stars. So I do expect to see more stuff like that. And that was actually PlayStation Plus. But those should actually be in PlayStation Now. I don't think they updated as much. There's also some confusion with PlayStation Now because originally it was just a streaming service. And it's much more than a streaming service now. It's, you can download games. There's PS3 games that you can stream for sure, but you can also download a ton of PS4 games. And like I said, there's a lot of the games on here that are actually, exclusive or what have you. So you have to kind of keep that in mind as well. That Sony has a really good interface. And trust me when I say this, okay? These are very similar services, but if you just take them for what they are, it's $60 a year for PlayStation Now, and there's more games, although the games aren't as new or as frequent, but it's, like I said, like a third of the price, so you have to kind of factor that in. And then when you look at Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, I think that actually that price is okay for what it is, but it's like, there's nothing in there that would make me like blow my top for it right now. It's like, and Sony on the other hand, they list their exclusives, and there's different ways. I actually like the interface for PlayStation Now very much. I feel like they do a much better job of kind of getting you an interface and an idea on what they have. But, it's still going to really take a little bit of time to see how that kind of works out, And again, it really kind of just comes down to how Sony and Microsoft will continue to implement these things going forward. And hopefully they continue to implement things pretty good, because I think that's what people want, you know what I mean? Like, if subscription services truly are, quote-unquote, the future, then they shouldn't have any kind of issues, kind of pushing those forward and pushing that narrative forward. And I do hope that they are able to kind of get these things out, because look, PlayStation Now could be a serious contender to Game Pass. The first thing they would have to do is obviously get more of those dollar deals out, because you don't think that Game Pass suddenly just became popular because everybody thought it was a great deal at $15 a month. No, I would wager that probably 75% of people on there are running a dollar deal or something along those lines. So I think Sony would do something like that. They have to rebrand it, maybe put in PlayStation Plus mixed in the mix with it. Try to do something. I'm sure they could work out something to get EA Play and undercut the price of what Microsoft is doing. Get some of your newer, smaller stuff in there. Oddworld, it was a good one, but then you could also do other things to sort of showcase that you're serious about it. I've said this for a long time. Maybe even something like Returnal would have been good for it. But obviously you're going to save your God of Wars and your Horizons and, your Ratchet and Clanks for big releases. But why not something like Returnal? Give it a bigger audience or something along those lines. If you don't want to go something that big, maybe just looking back at things, something like Concrete Genie, I think would be great for the service like that. But yeah, at the end of the day, very close services. I think that Game Pass has a bit of an edge just because lately they're getting the newer stuff. But I still think that you can't discount everything that PlayStation Now has. With a few tweaks, it could actually be the better service. Let me know what you guys think. I probably surprised you with some of this. Rack 'em up. Game on, my friends. Game on. Crapgamer, out.
Unscripted.